garbage. Just like you.
Not garbage, dude.
Last time we were recording for this song, it was the only other time I've ever played it or worked on it. Tour just ended, and I wrote the song, and we kind of like knew that if I didn't record a version of me playing it then, that I never would, which is ironic because here I am now recording an actual version. But I don't think I ever would have gotten to recording an actual version if I didn't go through that. I don't know, sometimes when you like let something live in the world, your relationship with it changes, and that's kind of what happened to me. And the song, I felt just as strongly about the song once I shared it, but in kind of a different direction, and less of a I need to keep this sacred for me, and in more of a I actually feel compelled to have this live forever. The version that exists in that video is just literally one SM7 mic, like in between my mouth and the guitar, so both, you can kind of hear both, but obviously there's not a lot of mixing or producing you can do to something like that. So I was like, let me do a real version. But the problem with doing a real version is I didn't want it to lose any of that magic and any of the spontaneity. And so it's like, how do you do a real version that still captures that emotional energy of the first live version that still sounds kind of more professional and produced? And kind of what I came up with is I want it to all sound like it's like a live band of just four of me. So that's what I did, and I'm gonna put it together and show you kind of how I did it. I just realized, did I wear this shirt for the American Boy BTS video?
Oh no, I only have like 3 shirts in your closet, so.
Can we check really quick?
Yeah. Fuck. Wasting my time. How about that?
Not really my biggest concern, I guess.
I know.
How's my hair look? Seen better, seen worse. Alright, let's get it started. Sometimes it's hard to turn your computer on.
Okay.
Can't really explain why. You guys just hold on 1 second. And then what we're gonna put in the do-do-do-do, it was starting now. Got him. Whatever. You were never mine, but baby, I was yours. When I thought of that, I had 2 reactions at the same time. One was, fuck, that sucks. Like, that is really fucking sad. And then the other is, man, I'm really excited to write that song. A voice that I always really like to explore is like this very casually said thing that sounds very surface level, but then when you think about what it actually like means or what it would actually feel like, it sucks. And to me, you seen someone new, he said he heard I'm a great dude. Like, that sucks. Shut up, dude. You smoked me like a Winston, I lit the way right to him. I've been trying to get this cigarette metaphor into a song for so long. There's something so poetic about the way cigarettes like light their way to their own end. And so, you smoked me like a Winston, I lit the way right to him. As stupid as it sounds, like something that I thought would get me in the emotional space of the original demo was literally counting it off the way I did in that video. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I was like thinking about how I was gonna approach making this and how to make it feel just super real and emotional. The first thing that came to mind, I made like a little playlist of songs that I felt were in the same emotional space and sonic space, and a lot of them, it felt kind of like room mic-y. Like it felt like they were like relying on room mics in a way that was more than just like a textural piece. They were like, that's the sound. So I played everything through an amp, and I mic'd up the amp 2 different ways actually on the cab, but most of what you hear is just like this Peluso P12 just kind of rocking in the room. So I want to show you just like how that sounds. So if you're listening in headphones to not this video but to the actual song, you'll kind of notice that the room feel, which is a little bit brighter, is going to be on your left side, and the SM7, which is a little bit darker, is going to be on your right side. That also kind of made space for the vocal to live down the middle by itself. This is the SM7. And then this is the room mic. And then together, they sound like this. Once I kind of figured out that was going to be the vibe and the feel for the song, it really like opened everything else up. So I played the drums on this song, and kind of like how the room mic ended up being the sound of the guitar, the drum mix is like very heavily reliant on the overhead mics. I really felt like they were capturing the energy of the track extremely well. So drum wise, the second verse starts out really simple and then it builds, and then once you get to this second pre-chorus, then you're like in full beat mode. The purpose of doing that was I wanted it to feel like once you got to pre-2 that the drums were in, and that was what full drums sounded like. We have this build. 1984, a cautious tale that you ignored. You picked your version of the truth and left me for dead. You took a lighter to my heart, smoked me like a Winston. So you're thinking like, okay, the drums are in. They're not. Chorus 2. Here we go. What happens? This happens. I lit the way to win. And I'm not sitting high, but it really does. It's almost like a lull 'em to sleep move. You see the clip of Jalen Brunson where he like saw that the guy was waiting for the screen at the top of the key, and then he like pretended like he was waiting for it too, and then just crossed over to the right, got to the lane. That's kind of what this is, honestly. Pretty much the same exact
thing. Why you just give a Jalen Brunson analogy?
Okay, so songs like this that are like so, I call them like inward songs. They feel so inward. Like when I sit and played it with, it never felt like I was like projecting it out. It felt like I was almost playing it more to myself. I oftentimes, and I've talked about this before, but I really struggle with putting harmonies on top. But especially with this song, I had so much trouble. And when I have trouble with harmonies, I think the reference that I always pull is the way that John Frusciante does it. And the way that it almost feels like less of a harmony, more of just like a part. And whether it's like an ah pad or oo pad or a harmony actually singing words, it always felt like it wasn't just like this like stock third on top or fifth on top or whatever you want to do, or a pedal. Like it was always like it had movement. It was more like a part of the instrumental than it was like a vocal harmony. And so when I was going to do background vocals on this song, which there aren't very many, that was like such a breakthrough thought for me. It was like, what would John Frusciante do? So it started with this little pre-part that on its own is not like this extremely profound part, but I think in the mix it really, really helps. You took a lighter to my heart, smoked me like a Winston. I lit the way to win. So the chorus has these two different breaks, right? So the first break is just completely silent. It's like this. It hurt, but it really does. And then this next break, I was like, let it fill in the middle. I honestly didn't know if I was going to keep it, but I knew I wanted to have it. So just a really, really simple. It felt wrong coming back in from that kind of like epic Dave Grohl style drum fill to just like the same thing that you heard before. So when I was going to do background vocals, I knew that like that was the spot to put in some sauce. I'm gonna mute the lead and let's see how that sounds when it comes back in and we have just this big ah pad filling out the space. Awesome. It's way more verbed out than the lead vocal, which to me makes it feel like more of like a choir feel rather than a background vocal feel. What I really especially like about the bass part that I landed on for the post-chorus is that it's ascending while the vocal melody is descending, and against each other they sound really nice.
No one texted you.
There's a lot of text actually. Oh, what is it? Barack Obama, Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan's dead.
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs is also dead. None of them are texting you.
Bob Dylan's not dead. He's not texting you. He's not dead.
Okay, my bad, dude.
You're about to be dead. Shut up. Keeping that in. And then of course in the chorus we have these just power guitars. Obviously you gotta have the feedback coming in. these? Like, my collar been popped the whole time?
I have no idea.
I would like to apologize to everyone viewing this video if my collar has been popped the whole time. That was unintentional. If it hasn't, I'm gonna delete this and you'll never have seen this. So even for these kind of just like garbage power guitars, I still made it a point to keep this room mic rocking. I just love the way you could hear me actually strum. I got a lot of that tone from this pedal board. I was running this Fairfield circuitry and the OCD at the same time and the EV booster at the same time because I'm just simply crazy like that. How do I make it feel as magical and emotional as the live version of me sitting with my guitar in a house playing the song? How do I capture that energy? And a big tool that I was playing around with and that I literally maybe spent like 6 hours, maybe more, like getting this right and just trying it and recording and re-recording it, was tempo. I was like, this can't be at the same tempo the whole time because when I sit down to play it, I don't play it at the same tempo the whole time. It's not one of those songs. And it's not going to be like these big drastic tempo changes, but it's going to be subtle stuff that takes you from part to part. Getting faster, getting faster, getting faster. 186 at the end, fastest we've been the entire song. This high E flat, ringing the whole time. Such a nice low rub. So I would also like to just address that this is my 3 major song. I don't have one yet, and so I get to do, everyone gets one, and I get to do it for this song. That's okay, because it's okay, I haven't done it yet, so I can do it. I loved you from a distance, so said no words, no tears, listen, no. But now a part of me is missing, no. Gets more lost each time you turn away, and kiss it. Something that was important to me for the bridge was to have a little bit of a, not a total departure, but a subtle and slight departure from the vocal chain and tone that we've been hearing the full song so far. Pretty gnarly, but pretty cool. Back in with the other vocals, we get this tone. I loved you from a distance, oh. And all together it sounds like this. I loved you from a distance, oh. Said no words, no deep listen. Something I'm trying to do a bit more is to kind of like play songs over and over and over again. It was inspired by when I play songs live, and I've played them for a bit of time, I find new ways to play them that I find myself wishing I had when I recorded them, because I would have just made the recording that way. So I'm trying to kind of like induce that in myself through playing the song like just a lot of times before I recorded that original video, and just kind of like shedding it out and shedding it out and shedding it out. I kind of happened upon this lingering moment before this last post-chorus, which I ended up really falling in love with. So we're just chilling on this. I was yours, I was yours, I was yours. Right? And what's funny is these ad-libs, the yeah, was it? I was yours, and then I was yours, I was yours. Those were all ad-libbed in that video, and I just kind of fell in love with them. Originally I was like, okay, let me kind of fuck around and see if I can beat them, and then I thought, no, if it's good, sometimes you gotta let it be good. for a song like this, where I'm like, the whole purpose of this recording is to do a produced version that captures the magic of the original live version. Like, you just can't change certain things. Like, to finish it, I actually ended up taking out stuff rather than adding new stuff. Like, I sat on a version of it for a couple days, and I listened back, and I took breaks, and then when I came back to the computer to finish it, like, what ended up making the song done was being more reductive, was like taking out stuff, and certain things that I mic'd 4 different ways, like only using 2 of them instead of all 4. And that was kind of what cracked the code for me on this song, was like sometimes taking stuff out allows for another part of the instrumental to like breathe in a way that you didn't really feel that it did before.
Oh, it is 500 degrees up here. Like, what's your deal, bro?
I'm almost done. I wanted it to sound like 4 or 5 of me in a room playing this song together, and I'm really happy with how it turned out, because when I listen back, that's exactly what it sounds like to me. So anyways, thanks for watching. I'm gonna go get some dinner. Bye.